the greatest thing about sports is you play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game.
Winning isn't everything, but it's the only thing. In our business, there is no second place. Either you're first or you're last.
Ain't this what they've been waiting for? You ready?
And now, the W with Walls and the Crew.
Good morning.
Where winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. On 100.1 FM.
Good morning.
And Facebook Live.
Good morning. Right back like we never left. Another Saturday morning with the W Show, Kansas City, talking sports and pop culture. If this is your first time checking us out, we greatly appreciate you making us a part of your Saturday morning, your cold and rainy Saturday morning, that is. Jazz, what's up?
Facts. That weather made it hard to get out of bed this morning.
Really?
Yeah. You know, when it's rainy and cold and you just want to have a lazy Netflix chill day.
Yeah. I haven't watched Netflix in like ever.
What?
It's been a long time since I've been able to
some
like.
Good documentaries coming out.
Give me one.
You gotta lock in. The U.S. Women's National Soccer Team.
How was that?
Just dropped one. I watched that one this week. Fire.
What's it about? I mean, I know it's about soccer, but like
obviously their last run. They talked a lot about like the young girls coming in, what the dynamic is like behind the scenes. It was really cool for me to watch it because the coach, which I know it's kind of a hot take, Blacko, being the coach last year, was my club coach. So how like their relationship with him and being able to see interviews with him was kind of funny, kind of nostalgic.
You got to just call him like, hey, I saw you on there. I don't believe that. That was not right. You changed up your story a little bit.
Exactly.
But yeah, like I said, Netflix, I haven't been able to watch that in like a long time.
That's probably a good thing. They're staying busy.
Yeah. There any like action movies on there I need to check out?
Actually, another crazy movie. Leave the World Alone.
Is that the one where like I keep seeing people post like this deer?
Yes.
In the street.
Yes.
Okay,
you
that's
gotta
it.
Watch it.
All right.
And it's a controversial one. It's about like things that are going on within the United States,
really?
Technology, and Barack and Michelle Obama are co-producers on the film.
Oh, fire.
So it's pretty cool. Maybe it's a little insight on what we're looking at.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna have to check it out. Maybe I'll check it out on the flight today. So yeah.
Period.
They have Netflix on planes?
Do they? You can get on your iPad or on your laptop.
Oh, maybe. Well, I'll probably miss it. All right, we got a lot to talk about on today's show. Coming up, we'll talk about Isiah Pacheco. He's going through a little shoulder surgery that he had last week. And this is something that's kind of been lingering. He had shoulder surgery at the end of last season, going into the off season, missed a lot of preseason. And so Coach Andy Reid said he'll be returning next week, but we'll dive into that. Golden State Warriors, Draymond Green is suspended indefinitely for striking Nurkic. That was something that I'm ready to talk about because Draymond Green, I think NBA guys have had enough of his shenanigans. Chargers, an AFC West opponent for the Chiefs. A lot of Chiefs fans know them really well. They fired their head coach, Brandon Staley. This AFC West just can't get right. We'll dive into that. And in about 30 minutes, we'll get to our sneakers of the week. Let's get to today's headlines.
And now, here are the biggest sports headlines from this week. We bring them to you every Saturday morning on the W with Walls and the Crew on 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
I don't know how excited you are to talk about our Chiefs this week, Steve, but Chiefs running back Isiah Pacheco is out after undergoing shoulder surgery, but should return next week. Is this another quick turnaround Aaron Rodgers situation? What's going on with this one?
I don't know. Friend of the show, Isiah Pacheco, Pop, as we like to call him. This is one of those where I'm like scratching my head because, of course, he had shoulder surgery after the Super Bowl. He played in the Super Bowl with a hurt shoulder. And when you have surgery, normally it's supposed to correct, everything that's wrong with it. Andy Reid came out on Friday. Of course, he missed last game. Isiah Pacheco did. And Andy Reid came out yesterday and said, there were some fragments that were still in his shoulder that they had to correct. So I'm wondering, is it worse than what they said? Because the Chiefs, they're not going to give you more than what you need to know.
Yeah.
And with HIPAA laws and things, you're really not going to ever know. But they did say he had surgery earlier this week, so he's out tomorrow's game. Will this be a season-ending injury or a thing? I don't know. I think it's going to be something that we'll have to just wait and see because the Chiefs aren't going to tell you. It's just going to be like a week-to-week basis.
Q, your thoughts?
I mean, I'm wondering how Steve feels on the outlook of the season. I mean, you're down basically your number one running back. You don't have a number one receiver. And this is the point of the season where you're supposed to be getting better.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be regressing. You're not supposed to be losing. I mean, games in the fashion that the Chiefs are losing, and it's tough to see them succeed in the postseason. And really over the course of the next 4 weeks, it's really tough to see them, making it to the postseason.
Yeah.
Just because of how the dynamics of the AFC are shifting now that we're in the bottom half of the season. And then Pacheco, you would like to see him out just 1 week, but shoulder surgery sounds like, and depending on where it's at in his shoulder, like, are we talking about top of the shoulder, back of the shoulder? Like,
yeah.
And that depends because as hard as he runs, you have to trust your full body.
Of course.
Of course.
Shoulders aren't that takes a brunt of the load.
Yeah. Like rib injuries are different because you could cover that up, flak jacket, probably take a shot before the game. But a shoulder, it's just super different. And I think he's young enough to still trust his shoulder.
Yeah.
Like when you're, what is he, 22, 23, something like that.
Yeah.
Something really young. He might not even register what's going on with his shoulder when he comes back. But some people, it takes them a while to trust their body when you come back from an injury. And it's tough for me to see the defending champs defending the championship.
Yeah. and Andy Reid, with his quote, and I quote, he said, Pacheco has some things taken out that were floaters in there, but he's doing well. He said, so he's moving around good, and we'll probably anticipate getting him back next week.
Yeah, and that's what I saw. I saw that he was coming back next week. Now, if it's,
I don't know what floating around means. Like, is it like tissue? It's
probably pieces of bone, maybe. I don't. What was his injury before? Was it the disc? Was it? Not the disc, but was it the joint in your shoulder? Like, yeah, it's just very vague, and so you don't know exactly like what exactly his injury is. So if he's going in there to get some stuff cleaned up, then yeah, that's a small incision. They probably went in there and sucked out whatever was in there, and the cut will heal by next month. But
it was a torn labrum.
Okay, a torn labrum. I think the labrum is in the front.
Yeah.
So,
and that could even be like fluid or getting fluid or something drained out of there too.
Yeah.
Which I know, especially after surgery, like scar tissue fluid, all that type of stuff. Sometimes it's more relieving to just get it done and get it out of there. So maybe he might be more comfortable than he has been.
Yeah, and he might be. But then you also face the same issue that Jalen Hurts had this past week of like, as soon as you're falling to the ground, defenders just like ripping the ball out. And if he's carrying it in that arm, again, how much trust and how much strength does he have after being cut open? So
and you mentioned him being out. Clyde Edwards-Helaire didn't do bad last week. He had 11 rushes, 39 yards. McKinnon didn't do bad either, 4 rushes, 19 yards. And I feel like they went away from them in the second half.
You had to.
Yeah, you're down 14, and you've been down 14 3 games in a row. You start 0-14, then you start 3-14 and 0-14 again. And I feel like when you're down, you want to pass the ball more, but last week you didn't really need to. I mean, you got back in the game running the ball. And then second half, it was pass.
And that's what we've seen San Francisco do. Like really the latter half of the season, San Francisco has been very methodical in keeping the run game going, keeping the wheels churning.
But you can't duplicate McCaffrey.
I mean, you
can't duplicate that.
You can't duplicate the level of athletes that they have.
Yeah.
But consistently throughout the season, you could build, that type of momentum, and especially in your run game, and the Chiefs just don't do it. So again, him going down, and then you have, Clyde, and not to be like disrespectful to him, but like, when have we seen Clyde, like, when's the last time we seen Clyde have 2 good games in a row?
I mean,
and then to pile onto that, when have we seen him have 4 good games in a row to close out the season? And that's gonna be tough. Like, the Chiefs have not built his consistency throughout the season, and then Clyde has ball security issues. So he hasn't had the season to keep up with ball security. So you get late in the season, you have these drives that really count. Is he going to put the ball on the ground? And that's the issue with the Chiefs this season. Not necessarily fumbling, but just not being able to catch the ball.
Yeah.
And you need that ball security. That's what the Tyreek gave you. That's what the DeMarcus Robinsons gave you. That's like they were able to catch the ball like in these clutch situations, and very few have showed up on this season on this team this season.
Yeah, and they had, so I'm just looking at the play chart. Ran the ball 18 times, passed the ball 43 times. I mean, that's almost half 50-50. As much as it doesn't look like that and feel like that, but it's almost 50-50. So I'm just like, that loss last week is just kind of has me scratching my head a little bit, because they're able to still stay in these games. However, they're playing like bad. So just think if they start clicking.
And then wasn't it last year that a lot of games that they were winning by like 3 points or less?
Yeah.
And you either get better from that or you get worse, and it seems like they've gotten worse.
And I think part of the clicking is chemistry, and they haven't been able to establish that with all the injuries and dropped passes and stuff like that, where they're having to switch things around. And so I just don't see how they're going to be able to build that chemistry, build that the pop right now, and pull it together with this crew right here. I mean, they haven't been able to do it all season. And there's a reason why Edwards-Helaire was in this position in the first place.
True. I mean, he, like you said, injuries. And he hasn't been able to finish seasons. Like, first season, he started out, he had 300-yard games beginning of the season, then got injured. The following season, started out really well, got injured. So he hasn't really been able to finish. But I feel like, and I've been saying this, if you had Clyde Edwards-Helaire right now, this is the Clyde Edwards-Helaire you want. Because I'm back up for a second. This is if you have any player in the NFL that is going through contract situation, you want a new deal, no matter if it's going to be with your current team, if you're
looking for a new team,
so you're going to get the best out of him that you could possibly get.
You hope.
Yeah. I mean, and I feel like he's fresh. I mean, if you look at his, and I don't know how many carries he's had, just comparing, let's say a running back that's been in the league for a while, over the last 4 years, how many carries he's had compared to how many carries Clyde has had over, the past four seasons. Like, I'm talking about like his usage.
Yeah, no, his usage is definitely low, but again, you still have to get some usage to gain that experience. And not saying that he's an inexperienced guy by far.
Yeah.
but you have to keep the wheels churning.
Yeah.
And especially in a league like this that's ever evolving, players are getting faster, especially as you get older.
Mhm.
And well, I won't say his injuries have taken a step from him. Like I don't think that's happened. But just him being in this number 2 role behind Pacheco, I don't think his development, that's the word I'm looking for, his development, and especially within the system, I'm not sure he's developed the way the Chiefs have wanted it to. So again, like a player like this, when you have so many question marks, and there's a couple of guys, just even him and McCole, like McCole having those question marks, aside from injury, like he's not putting up the numbers. And yes, fans here want to see the numbers. Like they don't want to see you doing the intangible things, the blue collar things.
Yeah.
No, they want to see you putting up numbers.
That, and I think Steve, that would be the ideal situation. But even in the beginning of the season, we saw the hints of him seeming like he didn't want to be here. He wasn't involved. He wasn't showing up to stuff. So how can we bank on him now to be all about it, ready to go, and stepping up to the plate?
That's interesting you say that. I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
You mean like Super Bowl, he wasn't Super Bowl parade, he wasn't here. I mean, sometimes you go through things.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, relationships. Sometimes, you ain't
not feeling it right now.
And then you come back and it's all good. You got to rekindle the flame. And so I feel like he's rekindled that. The Chiefs have, and he knows that they have nothing else. Nobody else. I mean, you got Jerick McKinnon, but Jerick McKinnon is not an every down back right now because he's been in the league 10 years. He's on his way out. He has more football behind him than he does in front of him. I'm not saying that he's not, serviceable now.
No, definitely.
But I feel like,
but he's not the guy you're putting in short yardage all the time like that. Yeah,
exactly. So I feel like, you're gonna get Clyde's best, and if I'm Clyde, I'm going out there, I'm balling. You almost have to.
No, you have to, and especially if you want another contract in this league.
And being running backs lifespan are really short.
And that's what I'm saying, because this will be his second contract. So if you want that second contract, you have to take care of the ball.
Yeah.
You have to do exactly, what's expected of you. And if you don't, this is not a running back wealthy league.
Yeah.
Now, Patriots tomorrow at noon. Steve, you'll be there.
Mm-hmm.
What are you expecting out of this game?
As much as we want to call this like a get right game, I think a couple of the coaches were asked about that yesterday, and everyone's saying like the Patriots are getting better, like they're trending up, like they started low. I mean, not as good as they would have wanted to, but they're trending upward. And so now you're going into Gillette Stadium with facing a coach that knows you very well. And by the way, Q, I looked at like the numbers overall, like the Patriots versus Chiefs. The Chiefs lead that series. Like I didn't know if you knew that.
Well, I mean, if you,
I just want to throw that out there.
If you saw the Patriots from
but I just
previous to 98,
throw that out there.
If you saw the Patriots previous to 98,
sprinkle that on there for you.
The Patriots and the Bengals of the 80s and 90s were 1-1.
And I'm kind of looking past you at Broderick, but he don't want to look at me either. But
no, that's fine. But who leads in rings? And that's where the conversation steers.
Yeah, I just had to sprinkle that on there. But now they're going up there to Gillette Stadium facing Bill Belichick team. Bill Belichick's teams always play the Chiefs hard.
Always.
So and this is one of those games where you have to expect the unexpected. Defensively, I think the Patriots, they aren't bad. They just didn't have an offense. So I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I do. 21-17 is what I've been throwing out there. So this game, and I've been waiting on this to like unfold for what I've been saying. It's like you have these wide receivers who have been up and down this season. A lot of things thrown their way, mentally and physically. And I feel like now they have to be the best that they can be. going into the end of the season. You talked about chemistry earlier. No better way than to gain some chemistry is to show like, Pat, hey man, we saw you battling for us last week.
Mm-hmm.
We saw you going at the Kadarius Toney. We saw you going at the refs. Travis Kelce talking about Kadarius Toney in his podcast earlier this week, talking about the wide receivers earlier this week in his podcast. Like, the media needs to get off my receivers, that kind of thing, building them up. No matter if he thinks that for real, but he's still, building them up mentally. And I feel like they've got to come through. They really do. They're professionals. Sky Moore can't have any more, one target games. And a lot of it's on Mahomes too. He's not, we can't not like say that it's on him because he's of course the leader of this offense. He has to make sure that he's getting it done.
I mean, you make sure by putting it where they can catch it and hitting their hands.
Okay.
And like, that's the best you could do.
Yeah.
And if they can't secure the catch, then, what can you do? But yes, I agree that some of the blame can fall at Patrick's feet. But really a lot of that blame bleeds into, team management. Because you can't expect this guy to be Superman for multiple seasons. Like, we've been talking about him being Superman since the Super Bowl with the Bucks, and you can't expect that. Like, you have to put pieces around him so he can continue to develop his talent and not seem so stagnant. Because I mean, the entire NFL is waiting for Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
And he hasn't shown up this season. And so now the narrative, the whiny narrative, what everything that's going on right now, the things that are brewing, he's going to have to come back, but you need pieces to do that. And if the team doesn't put pieces around him next season, we're probably going to be having the same conversations. And then it's back to what, the Chiefs fan base has, been for the most of my life. And you don't want that. And especially for Patrick Mahomes, you want exciting players around him. And if his best target is 10, 11, 12 years in the league, what does he have to look forward to in it, in this $500 million contract? So
there's 7 other quarterbacks that are, I guess you can say, have better stats than Pat right now. Tua, CJ Stroud, Brock Purdy, Dak, Sam Howell, Jared Goff, and Josh Allen. And there's a couple right up under him, which is Trevor Lawrence, Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert, and then Jordan Love. So he's even on his worst, at his worst, and this is by far his worst that we've seen. He's still better than half of the league at his worst. I'd take that any day.
Yeah. Because last season at this point was his worst. Like, I don't think his numbers were, super up there. He threw a lot more interceptions. He turned the ball over.
Last season, he was still in the MVP race.
No, he was in the MVP race. Because he was Patrick, because he's winning. He's winning all of these games.
You saying his all name?
Huh?
You saying it's all name or not?
No, I'm saying because he was being Patrick. He's winning games less than 3 points throughout the whole season. So yes, that miraculous, because last year the Chiefs started slow virtually every game, and then Patrick had to be Patrick and come back and do all of these miraculous things, but you can't do those things when you don't have reliable receivers.
So if Patrick's not having to be Patrick, what do we have to do now to close out games? I think that's the biggest thing.
You need somebody reliable, somebody he can rely on, and it can't be Rashee Rice. Only.
Why not?
Only.
Oh, okay.
It can't only be Rashee Rice.
It's well said. I feel like some of the pressure has to come off of Kelce.
That's why I'm focused completely on the wide receiver room.
You got.
We can't even bring tight ends into this because the bar is already up there.
I think you got to start out faster. You can't have drives where you get down to the red zone and you turn the ball over to Patrick. I feel like you've got to either get 3 or 7. There's no ifs, and but there can't be any stall drives. You have to go down and put some points on the board.
And that was always a tough thing about playing the Chiefs, because in 2019 and 2020, if you didn't do anything on offense within your first 3 possessions, you're automatically down 14 points at minimum. Mm-hmm. And after that, they're able to be creative. They're able to open the playbook. They're able to do all of this. Now they haven't been able to open a playbook. They haven't been able to have the fun and come up with plays in practice, and then try them 5 days later. Like, they haven't had that. And that's what's been missing, because the local fan base has been spoiled.
And you know why they haven't had that fun? We saw it last week. Prime example. It's the penalties and turnovers. We saw the fun was there when Travis threw the ball behind him to Kadarius Toney. He ran in for the touchdown. That was fun.
But you expect that, because Travis comes from that team that we could make up a play and execute it and rehearse it for 5 days, and come Sunday we can do it on the fly. But that's the talent they had around them. They had the speed. You had not only the speed, but you had guys that could pick up the game quick.
Yeah.
Now you don't have that. You have, guys that are still like coming back to the huddle. My bad. I should have caught that. Like,
And I would say this, and we can move on, but you just thinking about this the past few weeks, there's only about 5 players on this team who understands real loss. Like going back to 2018, where even you start 3 and 4, and the fans are toxic. Remember all those, that thing. There's only 5 guys on the team that understand that, and you got a bunch of new guys, young players that don't understand like real loss. All they know is championship, AFC championship, Super Bowl loss, Super Bowl win. Like that's all they know. And so now it's how do you dig yourself out of that ditch? And they've had to find that. And I don't feel like they've been through that. I guess the word I'm looking for is adversity. They haven't been through that adversity yet. And I feel like if this is the bottom, shoot, you go and lose 3 out of 4. And if this is the bottom, shoot, man, I'd take it. Really. I would. Right now, because you could easily have started out losing 3 out of the 4. We know how that goes. So if this is your rock bottom, I guess, for the season, I would definitely take it.
Gut check.
Yep.
Now, Shohei Ohtani signing with Dodgers for record 10 years, $700 million. Big bag.
Yeah, big bag. That's definitely. And it's the Dodgers. Like, the rich keep getting richer.
Sheesh.
And that was the reason. Excuse me. So in his press conference yesterday, they talked about him, the reason why he wanted to sign with the Dodgers, and he said it was more, he didn't care about the money part of it, because other teams offered him $700. You had the Toronto Blue Jays. You had I saw some other reports of Atlanta, maybe. I think it was some other teams that offered him, $700. And
he was like, imagine him in Atlanta.
I was like, dang, all he want to do is win. And you need a guy like that on your team. So,
no, he's a freak of an athlete. Like, this is one of those guys, and going back to the previous conversation that Patrick Mahomes, like this is a guy that he wows you like multiple times in the season, and it's not only warranted that he's going to make this kind of money, but again, somebody with that type of attitude, to want to win, to want to piece together things, you would just hope that the Dodgers have a plan, moving forward, of how they're going to put the pieces around him so he can continue to be as great, as he is. And you don't want, 2-3 years down the line to be having a conversation of, him going somewhere else, or, him kind of wasting the latter half of his career in LA because they can't put pieces around him. But it's also LA. How hard is it to get people to come to LA?
Yeah. And if you just think about their depth chart, man, you got Freddie Freeman, Austin Barnes, Will Smith, Mookie Betts, Chris Taylor, Max Muncy, Miguel Rojas, Chris Taylor, James Outman, Jason Hayward. You got some ballers on this team. Then Ohtani. Look, and they're probably going to add some more pieces. It's the Dodgers, man. It's that LA money. Yeah.
So
It's
between the Dodgers, the Lakers, what's the other super team out there?
You
The
got the
Rams.
Yeah. LA Sparks. You got a lot of teams.
Sheesh.
But I'm saying super teams like rosters worth.
Yeah.
Because the Rams are up there too. So
Talking about big B's, not the little ones.
not the little one.
And back to LA again, the Chargers fire head coach Brandon Staley, GM Tom Telesco following blowout, lost to the Raiders.
I'm gonna ask Steve, because is the Chargers organization as a whole terrible, or like what is it? Because the hype around this coach with the quarterback that he has, this was supposed to be the tandem that created a new rivalry between them and the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you think about the Chargers over the past few years, right?
Underwhelming.
Yeah, I mean, they go. I mean, I'm looking at let's just start at 2019, 2020 season before COVID. They went 5-11, last in the AFC West. The 2020, 2021 season, that's the COVID season, 7-9, second to last in the AFC West. 21, 22, you second to last AFC West, 9-8. Very subpar over these past few years. Last year, I mean, you come second in the AFC West, which I felt like they were trending upward. Like, all right, you got this new QB, you got a new stadium. Everything should be, getting better.
I mean, we were told how good Justin Herbert was and could be.
They went to air. Who do you like? If you have a team like that, you have a team circled on your schedule every year. It's the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, you beat them as a head coach, you beat them, you have to at least split them 50-50. You win one, lose one, or beat them twice. And then they go to Kansas City last year and beat them in their house. That was after the whole Patrick Mahomes, when he's playing golf, somebody said, Justin Herbert's coming. He said, I believe it when I see it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he comes here and beats them. But yeah, now this season, and I don't feel like this season was like, I mean, you're 5-9. I feel like you could probably win out last 4 games, maybe. That's including the Chiefs at the end of the season, just playing spoiler. And end up being 9-9. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like that organization, you get these things that happen with teams, and I always say this, like that they can't come back from.
Mm-hmm.
You got like the Atlanta Falcons, they couldn't come back from that. What was it, 28-3 or something?
I mean, even before that.
Yeah. So you can't come back from something like that. This is a team, like, you move from San Diego into a new city. You're not coming back from that. No matter all the glitz and glamour, to me, you're just not coming back from it.
Yeah, and because I want to say this is a one-off. This is an anomaly, but I mean, we could flip the page back just a little over 10 years ago when you had Antonio Gates, LaDainian Tomlinson, Darren Sproles.
Yep.
Like, you had all of these pieces and they still couldn't get it done. And I'm starting to think it's just the organization. I don't know if they've had, GM issues, if it's ownership. Like, I haven't dissected their front office like that, but something is up there, because you have all of this talent that you just keep in the middle.
Yeah.
And they're not, I mean, okay. Because I was gonna say maybe they need a coach that has someone accountable. Is this a job opening for Eric Bieniemy?
I said that. I've been saying he needs.
You said that.
EB's like going back to LA. I mean, he's from LA. Go back there, get this. I mean, Justin Herbert's not a bad. As much as folks say, "Oh, Justin Herbert's
he's not.
He's not a bad quarterback, man.
He just has
pieces.
He has Patrick Mahomes next to him.
Yep.
Like, I mean, you can't. You can't do that. Like, I mean, that's it's like NLE Chopper next to Andre 3000. Like, you can't really.
Wow,
like,
is that big of a difference? That's a big swing. Wow,
I was just throwing out names, but like, coaching matters. Like, we can't discount that, because Patrick's development doesn't happen, I don't think, without Andy Reid, without Eric Bieniemy, without sitting his first season and learning how to be a pro. Like, I don't think your development shoots up the way it did like that. And Justin Herbert is especially one of those guys. Like, he needs that. Like, they've given him the pieces. Like, he's been running back rich. He's been rich in receivers. But they haven't put it together. And this could be a team for Eric Bieniemy, but there's a lot of teams for him.
And you mentioned, and that's one of the things that I've been saying about these young QBs, man. When Patrick came in the league, he had Alex Smith, the veteran, who taught him how to watch film, who taught him how to be a pro. Justin Herbert's not going to learn anything from Max Duggan and Easton Stick. Like, he's not going to learn how to be a pro from either one of those guys. I don't feel like.
And he wasn't going to learn it from Phillip Rivers either.
So I feel like he would learn it from Phillip Rivers more than these dudes. I mean, at least Phillip Rivers knew how to be a pro.
Yes, more than. Yes. But again, developmentally, like, Alex Smith, all the trash I talk about him, he was one of those guys that Cam talked about, a game manager. He was a guy, he wasn't going to do too much, but he was going to do just enough to get you that win. And we saw the fierceness from Phillip Rivers, but we never saw the winner like that. Like, they were great in the regular season. They were great putting up numbers. They were great at doing all these things.
Playing that thing too.
But then when it came to the last 3 or 4 weeks of the season going into the playoffs, disappear. So
on that note, we're going to take a quick break. Coming back, we'll talk about Draymond Green shenanigans. Keep locked in.
Draymond.
This is the W Show. We'll be right back.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Come spin with us, Kansas City. KC WeSpin 360 is the coolest 360 video spinner experience for events. KC WeSpin 360 is taking it to the next level. The 360 video spinner platform rental will be the life of the party. Everyone will be talking about their 360 video experience while bragging about it on their social media pages. The captivating slow motion and reverse effects will have your guests feeling like celebrities. The KC WeSpin 360 video spinner can capture slow-mo videos, GIFs, and boomerangs from every angle. Specializing in corporate events, weddings, social gatherings, bar bat mitzvahs, school events, and fundraisers, KC WeSpin 360 can be found online at kcwespin360.com. Come spin with us, Kansas City.
Your loved ones matter the most. Take the burden away by pre-planning personal arrangements that fit you and your family perfectly. Golden Gate Funeral and Cremation Services will be here to comfort your family and take special requests. Plan and feel confident your loved ones will be less stressed and can console each other in their time of need. We will be here when you need us at 816-231-GATE or visit kcgoldengate.com. Exchanging your grief for a golden experience.
Football fans, you can't spell gate without Gates, and great tailgates start with Gates sauces and seasonings. Named synonymous with mouth-watering tailgates. When you make your list of tailgate essentials, add Gates sauces and seasonings to that list. Spice up your tailgate experience with that unmistakable great taste. Available in 4 tantalizing flavors. Classic, sweet, mild, and hot. Find it at your local grocer, and if you don't see it, ask for it. Visit GatesBarbecue.com to purchase any of the great sauces and seasonings. Great tailgates start with Gates.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Remember to message us, tag us, DM us, whatever you think is best. Hashtag talk about it, and we'll talk about whatever topic you want. Alabama hires ex-Michigan assistant ahead of college football playoff semifinal matchup. Ain't this some tea?
Yeah, we see it in the NFL all the time, though. You know, sometimes in playoffs, they'll or just in regular season, they'll claim somebody off of, you know, waivers or when they're released right before they play, just try to shake things up. And I don't know if they're asking like, all right, we'll give you, since you're on our squad, we'll pay you, $1 million to give us some inside information. But we see this all the time. I don't know. Is this like a Nick Saban thing? Like something where he's like, oh, give me some insider trader information or whatever. How much does he really know? You know?
Yeah, and I wouldn't take anything nefarious from that. I feel like there's integrity still in the game. Or is it?
We ain't. Okay.
You
ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Okay. You stand on business.
Okay.
That's what he said.
Okay.
Okay.
I just wanted to see how y'all reacted to that because
For the right price. Are you giving it up, Q?
No, and I think that's I don't know. I don't know, because like you said, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, and this is that kind of league. But it could, I don't know. I think sometimes with coaches, and especially when you look at, the lower level coaches, there's still some level of integrity. Like, do you think he's showing up with the playbook on a jump drive, like a thumb drive, he stole it out of there? Like, what's that movie where the guy stole all the secrets, Edward Snowden or something? Like, so he's gonna sneak it out in a Rubik's cube on a chip. But no, I don't think it would have any bearing on the game. I don't think they have any like super special secret calls that he's gonna like give them. But yeah, it'd be funny to see this story come out in 5 to 10 years that he snuck a whole playbook in there or something.
And he wasn't with them this past season. It was the 2021-22 season.
Oh,
yeah. So they've changed up things.
Yeah.
Oh, they've definitely changed up things since then.
And more or less, I think they hired him because he knows the system.
Mm-hmm.
He was a defensive line coach, and I feel like they hired him just to learn the system.
Yeah,
to tell them like, all right, this is their tendencies. This is what these are what's, because a lot of the players are still there from 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Now I'll let you football players take this one. Roger Goodell says the NFL is ready to ban the controversial hip drop tackle.
I mean, I'm okay with it. I don't see a.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, me either. They just need to. You get a lot of these, like Roger Goodell comes out and says things, and it still has to go, past the
competition
league
committee and all that.
Yeah. So, we'll see. Sometimes I don't, and honestly, I didn't even know what the hip drop tackle was. Like,
somebody break it down.
Really?
I didn't.
It's kind of a current phenomenon.
Yeah.
Because when you look at tackling, it's normally tackling a guy straight up face to face, but now you don't want to get these personal foul calls, these helmet to helmet calls, the spearhead, whatever it is. So you come up by his side and you grab him by the waist and then you just fall down. But a lot of times that falling down, they're falling down on the knee or on an ankle.
Yeah.
And you can see it right there. It's a very tough, and look at that ankle. Like,
yep. A lot of Achilles injuries. It's kind of on the lines of the
the horse collar.
The horse collar.
Yeah.
A lot of that stuff. Otherwise, but how are you going to tackle a guy? If you're
that's what defensive players say, because the hip drop tackle, it especially when it's a gruesome injury, it always looks like it's on purpose.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And that's the tough thing to get around because, again, like, I'm okay with it because defenders can't do anything.
Yeah.
And so there's nothing that you can do in a game this dangerous and prevent injuries.
Yeah.
So if they're going to outlaw this, it's not going to stop players from doing it.
Yeah, and instead of falling down, like, are they going to blow the whistle quicker? Like, if I'm grabbing a guy and trying to stop him from running.
A lot of times those plays don't happen when they're being dragged, though.
Yeah.
Like, it's really like, this player, you really don't have the angle on them.
Yeah.
So you just grab them by the hips and then drop. And it's to take their legs out. And I mean, that's literally what happens is somebody gets their leg taken out. So
now I get it. Draymond Green punches Nurkic and is suspended indefinitely. We've talked about him quite a bit.
Yeah.
What's the TQ? How do you feel?
I mean, he's got a rap sheet. He's got a long rap sheet of kicking people in the genitals. His rap sheet is too long to even like make the excuse. And then the excuse he had was so terrible. Because it's like, dog, like I could see if maybe a Giannis said that, because we haven't seen Giannis's House of Pain highlights. Yeah, Draymond needs to sit down for a second, because it's like, dog, you can't be the bully that you're trying to be in the league, and expect to not get fined, not get suspended, not have some sort of recourse. And I mean, dog, you knocked out your teammate not too long ago. So yeah, dog, you can't hide behind this one.
And I think it was the plain, like, innocent or playing like he didn't understand exactly what happened for me. Like how he's in the press conference, he said, "Oh, I just fell and swung my hand and it happened to hit him in the face," or like something that was a watered down form of what he said. But I'm like, you deliberately knew that you smacked that man in the face. There's no playing oblivious in this situation.
Yep.
At least own it at this point. If you're going to be a bully, at least say it with your chest.
Yeah, like, I hit him, so, and that's what you got to do. Like, I hit him, and you're going to get suspended either way.
Right.
I hit him, and
literally, you might as well embrace it. You did what you did.
Yeah.
I think that made it almost worse, was the trying to play oblivious. Then it's like, okay, obviously you have not understood, just like when your mom sits you down, you have not understood and processed your lesson. You need to sit down and rethink it some more.
Is he the worst?
No.
Like, because I just look back at guys and I'm thinking,
I'm old enough to remember
Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, I'm old enough to remember the bad boy Pistons. So
Dennis Rodman. Remember when he kicked the camera guy?
Mm-hmm.
He used to do antics, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Rasheed Wallace.
You still don't get worse than Bill Laimbeer. So
yeah,
he's the bar when you come to the worst players. Like, not even Ron Artest hit his level.
Oh yeah, I remember that Ron Artest when he elbowed. Who was that? He elbowed. Was it James Harden? Y'all remember that when he scored and he was with the Lakers and he elbowed James Harden in the back of his head and he fell to the floor.
Again,
That was pretty bad.
To see that again.
Yeah.
But I mean, Latrell Sprewell choked his coach out. So
yeah,
I mean, but you still don't get worse than Bill Laimbeer.
Okay.
I think it's time to sit down, my guy. Anthony Edwards wears fake jewelry because he doesn't want to spend money.
Smart man.
I mean, who's going to test your gangster at that point?
Right. I mean, yeah. And here's the thing. Like, he probably has some real stuff.
Sprinkled in there, like you said earlier.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think at that point, nobody's actually going to question it. Like, if you already have the understanding that that person has money, then why not play it safe? I mean, I'm guilty of leaving a necklace or whatever, and it's like, I would have just bought it. You don't trip as much when doesn't cost as much.
Now, do we have the same attitude towards fake Jordans?
No.
Okay.
Not at all. That's a different concept, though.
How?
Are we talking like DH Gate Jordans, where it's like you can't really
we're talking
notice?
about dupes. Yeah, that you can't tell. That's if these are not Jordans.
Yeah. No, the whole fake thing for me, I just can't do it. Like, I can't do it. It just, for me, it's just like something about it. I just can't do it, whether it's jewelry, whether it's, sneakers or whatever. I just, no.
Steve's bougie.
I am. And think about it. Think about it is Anthony Edwards. He could have just been saying this like Casey's out. He don't want to get robbed or something like that. Like, oh, yeah, it's fake. Don't even worry about it. Knowing that it's real costs him some money.
True.
It could be that too.
Because there's different kinds of fake too. Like, it's just where your diamonds are fake. It's the turn your neck green fake. Then it's
different levels.
It's different levels to the fake. Like, he probably got it still cost him, $20,000, but the diamonds ain't real, right? Right. So, I don't know. He probably was just trolling.
Fair enough. That would be a good bluff.
Knowing him, it might have been trolling.
Yeah.
That's a good bluff. I'll give him that. On that note, we'll take a quick break. Keep it locked in. We'll talk about some real sneakers with our Hate I Love It segment. We'll be right back.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Come spin with us, Kansas City. KC WeSpin 360 is the coolest 360 video spinner experience for events. KC WeSpin 360 is taking it to the next level. The 360 video spinner platform rental will be the life of the party. Everyone will be talking about their 360 video experience while bragging about it on their social media pages. The captivating slow motion and reverse effects will have your guests feeling like celebrities. The KC WeSpin 360 video spinner can capture slow-mo videos, GIFs, and boomerangs from every angle. Specializing in corporate events, weddings, social gatherings, bar bat mitzvahs, school events, and fundraisers, KC WeSpin 360 can be found online at kcwespin360.com. Come spin with us, Kansas City.
Your loved ones matter the most. Take the burden away by pre-planning personal arrangements that fit you and your family perfectly. Golden Gate Funeral and Cremation Services will be here to comfort your family and take special requests. Plan and feel confident your loved ones will be less stressed and can console each other in their time of need. We will be here when you need us at 816-231-GATE or visit kcgoldengate.com, exchanging your grief for a golden experience.
Football fans, you can't spell gate without Gates, and great tailgates start with Gates sauces and seasonings. Named synonymous with mouth-watering tailgates. When you make your list of tailgate essentials, add Gates sauces and seasonings to that list. Spice up your tailgate experience with that unmistakable great taste. Available in 4 tantalizing flavors. Classic, sweet, mild, and hot. Find it at your local grocer, and if you don't see it, ask for it. Visit GatesBarbecue.com to purchase any of the great sauces and seasonings. Great tailgates start with Gates.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Starting off our sneakers of the week, we have the Nike Air Foamposite 1 Anthracites.
Fire. I remember when the foams, the all black foams, like Foamposites for me are just that classic. Yeah, they just a classic sneaker. Like, anytime phones come out and they're the classic ones, like, you don't give me them all color ones. Just give me some basic ones like this. Mm-hmm. Yeah, classics.
These are 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yep. I dig them. Air Jordan 3 Midnight Navies.
Yeah, fire.
They're decent.
Yeah, I like them.
Nothing really stands out to me.
Yeah,
they threes. They classics.
Yeah, threes are 2s and 3s are probably my least favorite.
The Ronnie Feig A6 X89 Kithmas.
I like these. These are fire too.
I think these are my favorites this week, honestly.
Yeah, these are dope. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the colorway.
And they're not expensive either.
Those are a vibe.
I think I hate these the more I look at them.
Ooh.
What about them, Q?
The shape.
Ooh.
The shape is very terrible, especially when you look at the white bottom.
What color bottom would you give them then?
I don't even think it's a color. It's the shape. The shape is not doing it for me.
You got to see them on, like, because they fire.
Probably.
Yeah, they fire.
Because the shape
like
in these photos ain't.
It's like a real casual type sneaker.
Streetwear.
Yeah.
I dig it, especially for like a winter, fall colorway.
Mm-hmm.
I'm digging it. The Nike Kobe 6 Protro Reverse Grinch.
Fire.
These in the trash.
Yeah, you crazy.
Hate 'em.
You crazy.
I'm with
Both of y'all
you.
crazy. These are classics. You get them for $190 and now they're $1,000. You can easily quadruple your money if you bought these.
Giving Pet Lizard.
I'm not buying these. Yeah.
Y'all crazy.
That's
Any of these
so funny.
Kobe's go. Y'all. Wait, what?
Yeah, hard pass. And very
I
elementary
think y'all
vibes.
trolling me right now, to be honest. I really do. Like,
Nah.
y'all are tripping.
Very elementary vibes.
Yeah.
I'm not with it, Steve. I'm
Y'all crazy.
hard pass on that.
What do y'all know? Y'all don't know nothing about no sneakers.
Now we don't know something. We just agreed on the last one.
Because it ain't. It definitely ain't these.
Oh, man.
It's always something. Cam Newton calls quarterbacks managers and not game changers. Hate it or love it.
It's crazy.
I love it.
Why?
I love all the conversation that it's had around it. Who was the lady on ESPN that like basically told Cam he didn't know what he was talking about? I'm like, that's what I love about it. Like when people, because we've taken game manager to like be an insult. And I mean
I've always taken that because you call Alex Smith the game manager, and I feel like that was an insult.
Why is it an insult though?
It's an insult when your fan base tries to make a guy seem like he's this up here, like he's this guy, he's that guy. But then a guy named Patrick Mahomes came in after him and he became forgotten about.
I ain't forgot Alex.
Yeah, you ain't forgot about him. But he's largely been forgotten about. Like there's diehard Chiefs fans that just became diehard in the last like 4 years that don't know who Alex Smith is. So
shots fired.
And it's the names too. He's at Jared Goff, Tua, Dak Prescott, and Brock Purdy are game managers, not difference makers.
Tua's probably the only one that I disagree with.
Why disagree?
Yeah.
I think his ceiling is a lot higher than just being a game manager. I think he is a game changer. He hasn't, I won't say he hasn't had that opportunity, but he, as time progresses.
I think it's what you can do without superstar talent. Around if we're talking, since we're talking quarterbacks, I think it's what you can do without the superstars. That how you would not be a game manager. And I don't think Dak is a game manager. I feel like Dak is balling this year. There's nothing about Dak that says game manager right now.
I mean, right now, but what about his career? And I think that's the tough thing you fall into because Tua. I disagree with Tua just largely off the fact that he hasn't been able to like you compare him to Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes had Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy, and different people in the system that he can develop with. Tua is on his third coach.
Yeah. I look at Tua kind of like Josh Allen. Josh Allen didn't start off as what he is now until he got Stephon Diggs. If that makes sense. I think once Tua got Tyreek, he took off like a rocket.
I mean, yes and no. I think Tua had the talent there before Tyreek. It's not having that weapon.
Okay. All right.
Drake has OVO collection with Eagles. Hate it or love it. Steve.
Fire.
I ain't see it. I don't know.
You saw it. You saw it, and you wanted to buy. Like you probably wanted to buy it and try to peel off
anything green.
Well, that's your fault because you probably look great in green.
You know what? It might bring out the color of my eyes. I've been told.
But yeah, Jazz, have you seen the collab?
I have not seen the collab.
Steve, pull it up on your phone because it's a nice collaboration, and it shows you that some teams are able to do like cool stuff, like, and not to take away from the Chiefs because they just put out a line with Tech 9.
That's pretty fire.
But it's not that.
It's a Letterman jacket.
The Letterman jacket's pretty hard.
Not that one that says Philadelphia Eagles. Oh, Jazz. Wait. Hold on. What's up, Jazz? All right.
Yeah, because nobody wants to walk around looking like Ronald McDonald.
Oh my god. Hey, no, with that jacket, that Chiefs, it's monochrome, all red. Like, yeah, it's super dope. Have you seen it? The red Chiefs jacket?
I haven't seen it. It didn't move.
Oh, yeah.
I love how Steve just totally plot twisted this one. Of course he did.
Yeah, because I mean the Chiefs logo, I've probably been saying it for the last 10 or 15 years. Like the Chiefs could go with a change in color. They could have their whole brand refreshed. You could still stay red, but I think you need to take away the red and the yellow and that whole Ronald McDonald thing going on. It doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
Like, look how cheap that looks.
Wait, I ain't even put it up yet. I can't find it, but
mustard. I'm
It's
just
just fire.
saying, look at the red and yellow that's on the screen. All that red and yellow just looks cheap.
Okay.
We completely derailed from the whole Drake situation.
because we had to talk about how bad it was, because like Steve was trying to divert the conversation to something that looked worse.
Of course. But also just the concept of being a collab with Drake, fire. I mean, he also just dropped a candle line. I did see the candles. Sorry, I did not see the collection with the merch. But candles seem pretty fire. Are you guys dropping extra money? Of course, the candles are pretty pricey. On a candle just because it's Drake's line?
Nope. Not at all. Nope. You won't catch me owning it because it's Drake.
Exactly.
But whoever's on Drake's design team, they've always done a good job. Like even with the Raptors collab that they did a couple of years ago, I think it was the Jordan 12 collab that they did. Like that was a nice looking shoe.
Yeah.
Like, so I mean, but the Chiefs aren't a cool organization that's going to pick good designers.
Shots fired. I think it's just the Eagles and Chiefs beef going on right now. The house divided is really chirping.
It is.
No,
it's time to get out of here.
Because even the Sailor Twift shirt that was selling,
you say Sailor Twift.
that was a logo athletic design. That wasn't a local design.
We appreciate everyone who joined in with us this morning. Thank you for hanging out with us. Remember, like us on all social media platforms. Send us a message on any platform and using hashtag talk about it, and we definitely will. Until next week, we're out of here.
Peace.
The views and opinions expressed on the W Radio Show by the host, co-host, guests, and call-in listeners are solely the opinions and responsibility of the original source who expressed them. They do not represent the opinions of the W Show, 100.1 FM, One Kansas City Radio, Sideline Sports Talk, Team Wall Street Foundations, or affiliates.